Hey guys, welcome to this week's episode from LifeBuilds. Today I'm going to be trying to save a 2008 Ford Expedition. I'm going to be able to get it for a really good price. So I'm going to take you guys along and let's go see if we can save this. Already after an hour drive, we have looked at the Ford Expedition and I just purchased it. Let me show you around and let me tell you why I got such a good deal on it. So here we are, we're looking at a 2008 Ford Expedition. It's been sitting for a while, so it's very dirty. Besides that, the interior is pretty filthy. We got a ripped seat, but we have about 160,000 miles if I remember correctly. And I purchased this car with a clean title for $1,000. Now these cars are going for about $5,000 to $7,000, so I'm thinking this is a really good deal. Now here's what I'm looking at. The car has a pretty bad misfire, so I have to look into probably just replace the spark plugs and the coil packs. It's got a low tire, which I'm here at an air station to fill up. It also has no air conditioning, so I have to replace the air conditioning condenser and a few more things. But overall, this car is really nice. It appears to have been really taken care of until they bought a new car and they just let this one sit. So I'm gonna add some air to this tire, and then I'm gonna drive this car about an hour home. As you can tell, it's running behind me and it's running really good. So we'll take it home and then I'll show you around the car and we'll get it started on saving this car. Alrighty guys, check this out. We're about 10 minutes down the road now and it had the tire pressure light on. And look at that, it cleared itself once I filled up the tire. That's pretty uncommon luck for me because mostly the lights don't turn off by themselves. I usually have to fix the module or something. So pretty stoked. This car does not have AC. Got an idea for it. They said, nope, AC condenser or AC compressor is blown. Sure, that's a possibility. However, looking right here, the radio's not working. Nothing activates or anything. So I bet you money we're looking at a blown fuse. Now, I'm prepared to rebuild the whole system. However, you know, I always like to try simple fixes. So we're gonna look at that. Maybe it's a blown fuse, maybe it's not. And so far I'm sweating in here, so good thing I wore a tank top from the gym. Yeah, we're gonna get this car home and then I'll tell you guys more about it. But so far so good. Running pretty good actually. And that misfire is actually kind of clearing up, which is maybe just as bad gas, I don't know. But I did add some premium to this tank, so maybe that'll help it. Anyways, I'll catch you guys at home with the next update. Just like that, we have arrived home with the new 2008 Ford Expedition 4x4 model. I know I kind of walked you guys around it, but let me give you a little closer look. So it's pretty dirty. Walking around to this side, there's just, you know, a lot of gunk on the car. It's just filthy. Got some spider webs hanging out here. Here's the back seat. You know, it's just stained, dirty interior. However, for a $1,000 car, it's really not that bad. I've had much worse cars for $1,000. So it ran great all the way here. I was reading the codes, it said cylinder 1 misfire. So as long as the spark plug didn't fall into the cylinder, like a common problem on these Fords, we should be chilling. It should be just a simple coil pack or spark plug. They said they haven't done that in a very long time, so it's probably that. But we're gonna get this car cleaned up. I'm gonna throw you guys onto a montage and we're gonna get this car looking brand new again, and then we'll dive into the rest of the problems. Okay, we just finished the detail on the outside and check it out. It's looking a lot better. Obviously these wheels have a ton of buildup on them, so I'm gonna need some chemicals to get that off, but the car cleaned up really well. The back end still's got those patches. It's just, as far as I understand, it's a Ford tailgate thing. They rust right there. But other than that, the car really cleaned up and it turned out pretty nice. So tomorrow I'm gonna do the interior detail and tackle that absolutely disgusting interior. But I think right now I'm gonna dive into, it has a cylinder 1 misfire. So I'm gonna try changing the coil packs from one side to the other. That way I know if I need to just go buy some new coil packs and some spark plugs, and then we'll tackle all that tomorrow. But I'm gonna do some testing right now. Already a short while later, I have now pulled cylinder 1 and 2 coil packs, as well as the cylinder 1 spark plug to see, and I believe I've just figured out a problem. It still could be a coil pack, but this is the spark plug I just found, and if you look really closely, there is no igniter part left. It's basically all burned off. It was really seized in there, so I think that might be the issue we're dealing with. I called O'Reilly's, ordered some new spark plugs for it, so they'll be in tomorrow morning. So other than ordering new spark plugs, I'm gonna put everything back together, and then in the morning, I'm gonna put in the new spark plugs to hopefully fix this problem, because there's no point in putting this back in cylinder 2 or cylinder 1, because it's so bad, it needs to be replaced. So with that being said, I'll catch you guys in the morning, and we'll keep this saga going if I can save this Ford. Good morning, guys. It's the next morning here, and I went to O'Reilly's and picked up the new spark plugs, and it started raining, so I pulled the Ford Expedition inside by slapping the new spark plug in. So let's dive into replacing all the spark plugs and see if this fixes the misfire. Okay, that was quite a struggle to get the first 4 spark plugs replaced. I'm used to working on BMWs, so I'm used to pretty challenging situations, but all of these spark plugs are hidden by what appears to be these coolant hoses going into the heater core, I'm assuming, so you can't remove them. And there's all these wires here, which makes it very, very hard to get the last 2 spark plugs out. Also, it doesn't help that the spark plugs were pretty seized in. Let me show you these spark plugs. Look at these guys. Wow, I mean, those are bad. Let me grab a new one and show you what it should look like. So here's a new one, and then just look at that in comparison. I mean, those are really bad. Anyways, I'm halfway done. I'm gonna head on over to the other side of the engine and finish up the last 4 spark plugs. But I think I'm gonna start doing short reviews, 10-second reviews on different jobs on all the different vehicles I work on, because that way you guys can understand what a certain job will take for skill level and what kind of level of frustration you're looking at. Overall, so far, working on this Ford has been really quite pleasant. I mean, things like the tire pressure monitoring system, the light went out when I filled up the tire like it should, instead of having an issue there. Everything else seems very modular, so it's not too hard to reach the AC condenser or the AC system to try refilling it. A lot of the things are just very, very easily accessible. So overall, I'd say this is a pretty easy vehicle to work on. Besides, you're gonna get pretty frustrated working on spark plugs. Let's dive right back into the other side of the engine and finish up these spark plugs. Okay, so we just finished the spark plugs and it went pretty well. Actually, the other side was significantly easier, although the very back one was pretty difficult. But yeah, we're done now, and the spark plugs were some of the worst spark plugs I've ever seen. The part that actually ignites was completely worn off, so I'm pretty sure that was the problem. If not, it was definitely part of the problem. We're gonna go ahead and start up this Ford and see if we fix this misfire. Wow, you see the idle is not bouncing around at all? I think we fixed it. John, guys, I'm gonna take it for a test drive, see if the misfire code comes back. But if not, I think we're done, and I think we fixed it. The next thing we're gonna do is do the kind of detail. I'm just gonna vacuum out this car. I just bought another car for a really, really good price, and it's gonna be a really fun video. So I kind of want to get started on that one as well as this one, because I gotta manage my time where I'm working on all these different cars. Okay, so we've reached the point of the video where we're gonna do the staggered detail on this 2008 Ford Expedition. Now, what I mean by a staggered detail is I'm gonna detail in different segments throughout this video so that I can work on a lot of other projects at the same time instead of taking an entire day. Because usually to detail a car to the standard we like to detail to takes about 8 hours. It's a full day. So what we're looking at doing today is I'm gonna go through this interior, I'm gonna vacuum everything out, and I'm also gonna wipe down the interior. That way the car looks a lot nicer, and it's a lot nicer for me to drive around in. And then when I get the time, either in this video or another video, I'm going to actually shampoo everything, pull the seats, shampoo the headliner, do all the really, really intense detail that we usually do. So we're gonna start that. What I'm gonna do for this part is I'm just gonna show you around how filthy this car actually is, and then I'm gonna snap my fingers, and the next thing you'll see will be after the car has been completely detailed. I will show you guys that in a second. Okay, so to begin, I'm gonna show you around. Look at these door sills. These are absolutely filthy. The floor mats are disgusting. The seats are a little dirty. This will be shampooed out later, but currently we're just vacuuming and wiping down. And then up here on the dash, you can kind of see how dusty everything is. So I'm gonna clean all this out. Let's move into the back seat. I wish I could say the back seat was better, but it's not. It's still been sitting for a while. It's so disgusting inside. The seats are all obviously filthy. And then looking at the floor, you have a lot of filth right there. So we're gonna vacuum all that out, wipe out these door sills, and then I'll show you the back. And here is the back door. You can see there's stuff on these interior panels. The back of these seats are disgusting. It's like there was hay in here, which it was a farm car. So that's what we're looking at with this car. I'm gonna quickly vacuum everything out, wipe everything down, and then I'll show you the final product. Okay, here it is the next day, and I finished vacuuming out the car and wiping it off. However, it got dark and it was also raining, but here we are. The car looks a lot nicer. As you can see, it really cleaned up. I put the back seats down. All of these doors are significantly cleaner. They're still stained, but they're a lot nicer. And then here we are at the front seat. I removed all that nasty duct tape over the rip. The dash is looking a lot cleaner. Check that out. It's amazing what just simply vacuuming out your car and wiping down the surfaces can do to a car. It already looks like it's worth a lot more money. The next thing I'm gonna do real quick is, because of this nasty rip in the seat right here, I bought some new seat covers for it. So I'm gonna be really quickly installing the driver and passenger side seat covers, and then I'll show you what that looks like. Go on to the next thing. Check this out, guys. Wow, it cleaned up a lot better, and it hides that nasty rip in the seat. Yeah, it really brings this interior together. I'm super happy with how those turned out. So I think that really helps clean up this car, and it's the last part of the detail until we actually go and shampoo the car. Okay, so after changing the spark plugs, I put the new seat covers on like you just saw. And then we were heading out on our $1,000 motorcycle challenge this weekend. We're taking this car, and my buddy Colby, holding the camera, was like, hey, have you checked your air filter? And I was like, I haven't. I ended up pulling it, and let me show you what we're looking at. This is really bad. I don't know if that's mud or oil or whatever. Either way, from the top it looks great. The bottom is disgusting. So we just ran and picked up a brand new one. It should make the car run better, or at least healthier. That's what the new one should look like. Slight difference. I'm gonna replace this, and then I'll catch you guys in a few days when we start the next thing on this car. Alrighty, we're back from the $1,000 motorcycle challenge, and I gotta say this Expedition did really, really well. Check it out, it's still looking like it's in really good shape. It's a little bit dirtier than it was when we left. We got a top box on it. The interior is a lot worse because it got really muddy, but it wasn't a big issue because we're gonna be detailing it anyways. So basically, since I've changed the spark plug, I put about 400 miles on this car from various motorcycle trips and towing trailers and whatever. The misfire has come back. Now, I only changed the spark plugs. I noticed the coil packs were in pretty rough shape, so I was expecting to change them, but I was hoping I wouldn't have to. Check engine light's back on, so I ordered a whole brand new set of coil packs here. And already in this video, I already showed you changing all the spark plugs, which consequently meant me pulling all the coil packs out. So I'm not gonna show you that again. That's really boring. I wouldn't wanna watch it, and I'm assuming you guys wouldn't wanna watch it either. So instead of that, I'm gonna real quick toss those in, and you guys can watch a few clips, a little sneak peek of the $1,000 motorcycle challenge. In that, we took my buddy Colby's SSR Motorsports 110 pit bike. He did really, really good on that. We took my 1991 Husqvarna TE350. And we also took George's newest bike, which was a 2001 Honda Reflex moped. And honestly, it did really, really well. So I'm gonna show you a few clips of what we were able to get inside this car, how many people we fit in it, and overall some cool clips. And then I'll get these in and then I'll catch you guys after that. Here we're looking at the final packing, and we have the little pit bike in there. We have all the gear packed around it. This bike's going on the back. Top box is completely full. There you go. There we go. There you go. Woo! Well, I hope you guys enjoyed those first few clips of the $1,000 motorcycle challenge. I was impressed with how much we fit in this car too. I mean, a whole entire pit bike plus 5 or 6 people's worth of luggage for a whole weekend. That's impressive. Anyways, I just finished doing the coil packs on this Ford Expedition. Here's the old ones. They've seen better days. They're pretty crusty. There you go. I don't know if you can see them, but there's all the brand new ones. And that should be the last thing on this Ford Expedition. I know I said I'd do the AC, but honestly, I can't really tell if it's just not great or if it's actually a bad compressor. So I'm gonna do a little bit more testing, and then if it comes down to it, I'll either sell it with the broken AC and just give them a good deal on it, or I'll end up putting a new compressor in it. But I can't really tell right now, and it's honestly quite a bit of work as I'm starting school. So I'm gonna hold off on that. So that's where we're gonna end this video. However, I've got a few little sneak peeks I'll give you before I close out today's video. If you see right there, got a brand new bike in the garage, and this one's gonna be a really good one. You guys are gonna be really excited because that one was an absolute steal. I got that video coming out in a few weeks. I also have part 2 and part 3 of the $1,000 motorcycle challenge. I have a really, really, really cheap BMW coming out, and I got a bunch of videos. They're all being filmed at the same time, working on them individual days. And you know, like always, we got a ton of stuff coming up. So make sure to smash that subscribe button if you want to see more stuff like this. Comment down below what you want to see in future videos, what you want to see for different cars or projects or whatever. And at the end of the day, make sure to have a great day, and I'll catch you next week.